Hi everyone, I'm gonna do a demonstration about linear perspective today. And before I get into this handout that I attached to the module, let me just a little bit explain about the setting. So I have this book, which is actually a very good book. It's called Vanishing Point, and it's a great book for the comic artist, and I can put information about this book later on in a lecture. So if you're interested in, you can order this one. So anyway, it's got a good illustration. So it's quite challenging to teach the perspective system in online, but I think uh, I think you get the idea in the lecture. So anyway, before I move on to the handout that we're gonna draw together, which you're going to turn in the assignments, right? That's the exercise portion, and then second part you're gonna do the game board design. So before we go into that, let's take a look at this perspective system. I just wanted to make sure that you understand the setting, how you determine and the view of the particular type of the perspective. So there's 5 of them, okay, and then this is the 1 point perspective here. So you can see the box. I call it solid. This is the geometric solid. It's a fancy way of saying box, okay, or the cube. So you can see the box, right? And this says 1 point perspective. And the view of the 1 point perspective is that it's the frontal view. So you're looking at front part of the box or the cube parallel to your picture plane. So I have a piece of paper, if I'm drawing, that's right here. Okay, so this is the view. So it's the frontal view. And then this is the 2 point perspective. Sorry. Oh, here you go. Okay, 2 point perspective. So 2 point perspective is again the cube at the corner view, right? So instead of looking at the front view, the cube has moved so you can see the corner. This we call it the verticals or the leading edge, right? So you can see the cubes or the building right at the corners. So this is the 2 point perspective. And we don't cover in this class, but in the future when you take a representational drawing class, you can do the 3 point perspective, which is the additional vanishing point creates more dynamic compositions. Okay, and then the 4 point perspective, which is called a curvilinear perspective. So this is like the panorama view. So you have 4 points perspective. Sorry, the 4 point four vanishing points here. Okay, and then you've probably seen this. This is like a fisheye lens. This is the also curvilinear perspective and the 5 point perspective. So you have one in the top, north and the center, and the south, and then left and right, east and west. So that's the 5 point perspective. So in this class, we do the basic 1 and 2, but it's very important to understand the 1 point. Everything is an adds-on. Okay. Now, I wanted to also show you the diagram here. This is the 1 point perspective. Okay, here. The setting for 1 point perspective looks like this. So in the lecture, I explained about this is the viewer. This is you or the viewer, artist. We call it station point, right? Okay, this is what I'm talking about, the picture plane. This is your piece of paper or the canvas that you're about to draw, right? And this is the object. So you see how the picture plane and one of the plane is parallel. This is the relationship that you have to determine. So one of the plane, at least the one of the plane, is parallel to your picture plane based on the position of the station points, and the rest of the planes recedes away from you, receding to the vanishing point, right? So this is 1 point perspective. Okay. And typically 1 point perspective will look like this. Everything just only the frontal plane remains parallel to your picture plane, and rest of the planes recedes away from you towards the vanishing point. So this is what the 1 point perspective look like. Okay, now I want to show you 2 point perspective. There you go, 2 point perspective. Okay, this is the view. Notice the orientation of the box is different now, right? So still this is you, artist, or the viewer. We call it station point, right? And this is your paper in front of you. This is the picture plane, right? And this is the object that you're trying to draw. But the 2 point perspective, you see the corner, right? So this front plane is now, it's not parallel to this picture plane anymore because it looks like it's tilted and it goes away. It's going towards that way, and this plane towards that way. So none of the planes remains parallel to your drawing paper here. Only the verticals remains parallel to the paper. So if that's the case, this is 2 point. Another thing you can check is that if there's 2 vanishing points, it seems like one side goes to the left, the one side goes to the right. So there's 2 vanishing points. And the verticals remain parallel to the paper. All of the planes recedes away from you. So this is a 2 point perspective. So this is the setting. You always have to visualize. This is how you set up a drawing. Okay.